Well, good morning, my Teaserking family. Welcome today. Hi, John C. I'm fine. How are you? So I went outside and looked, and it's snowing now. I don't know if we're going to get 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 inches or two, but it is snowing out, unfortunately. So I looked at the weather of the Denver game, and it definitely got colder there. All right. So let's start football, and we'll go into some gold and silver. So we have New England 3.5, 43. Now I am stunned that this line's going up, the total. It's like 7 degrees there now. I don't know what you're expecting. Now, New England is a cold weather team, kind of. Uh, Good running. Denver, the only reason is they have like really a weak defense. Like I said, the last five, they're a 21 defense, but they've given up 30 points to the Giants and a few other teams, Jacksonville, um, Green Bay, outscored in the 30s, all three of those games. So I'm not sure. Drake May will see if he's a choker or not. The Houston game, he did good against that defense. Now we'll see him on the road. And we'll see Stidham. We don't know. I think he'll do fine. Or Sean Payton wouldn't have him, but he doesn't have the experience. Now, like I said, the only thing going for him is he played at Auburn. So he played Alabama, Georgia, and LSU every year for a couple years anyway. He wasn't bad there, but that was 2018, and this is 2026. So this is 8 years ago. He hasn't played much. Does he know how to play? Yes, but he hasn't played much. But they've had a whole week to work with the ones and work outside in the cold and get him prepared. So knowing he's going to start versus sitting on the sidelines and the guy gets injured in the third quarter is a whole different thing. So I think he'll be okay because he's had the time. I think Sean Payton will go, oh, these are the plays he likes and these are the plays he doesn't. So let's not run those plays. A lot of wide receiver screens, a lot of screens Denver does anyway, a lot of running. They're going to struggle running against New England, so they're going to have to throw that. And then again, we'll see how Drake May does. He did pretty good against Houston's real tough defense. By the way, Houston's got the best defense, not Seattle. Um, you got to throw out the Niner games where they, had the backups playing in the Carolina game. Much like Houston, Jacksonville could score and Indy could score. So they only had Tennessee that was really bad. But we will see. Anyway, 3.5, 43, and Seattle 2.5, 46. So let's go to the weather, which I just looked at, but let's look at it again. NFL weather. All right. It's 18 with 5 miles an hour, likely snow. A chance of snow. This gives me the whole thing. I'm confused. It says wind chill minus 14, but then in the first quarter, it's like 18 degrees, feels like 7. So I'm assuming the wind chill is 7 degrees at kickoff. Likely snow, maybe. And chance of snow 40%, new snow less than a half inch. So there's no snow in this game. Not that that would matter. 5 degrees, 6 mile an hour winds, 5 and 6. So a very cold day there. Now New England's used to it. This would be totally different. If it was Miami, Tampa, Jacksonville, LA, some of the warmer teams. Now LA did perform very well in Chicago when it was 0. So here it's 6. So it's really not. Uh, you have light winds, probably no snow. So you're going to have 6. So it's 15. Wind chill makes it 6. So it's cold. Are you going to see a lot of running? Are you still going to see passing? Now the Bears and the Rams still passed the ball. It was fucking 0 out. They couldn't catch it that well because the ball is slippery, but they still threw, and they still threw a lot. New England, Denver, we'll see. We'll see a good amount of throwing, I think, and the running. Again, I'm in over at 45, at 35. Which even in the cold in the ice bowl, you got a 37. I think it's doable, but I'm leaning now to countering it with an under of 49. Why it's going up to 43? Why do you think you'll get a lot of points in like 5-degree weather? It just makes no sense, especially with teams like New England has a very good defense, as does Denver. The key is going to be the turnovers. Is uh, Stidham going to turn the ball over a lot? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they'll just be more conservative with him and run more and short passes and things like that. But I do think he'll get some I think he'll get points on turnovers. Maybe, maybe a kick return or something. You always get some of those hidden things, the trick plays. The Rams in Seattle, not a problem. It's 38, which means 36 and no wind. The whole game, 36, no wind. So not a problem there. It's just cloudy. I mean, it's perfect weather. Yeah, this will go over. So that's the problem with the Denver game is Stidham and the cold weather. And at 41, it was an over. At 43, it's probably an under because I just think you have. I don't. It's like last week with the Rams and the Bears. That's an over. If the game was played in 30-degree weather, it'd be a 60-point game. It shows you how bad the cold is. So I don't know what you're going to get in 5-6 degree weather. When I first made the bet, it's funny, it was like 15, 20 there. And I was betting on it, and now it's weird. It's now gone down to 5 degrees, and it's going over. The people are betting it out. These are AI. There's a problem with AI. They're idiots. They're not factoring in the cold weather, how it will affect the game. And this is my problem with AI. It can't think like that. John CTK, we have bad weather. Could be 24-17 game. Well, that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for 20-17, to tell you the truth. I think Denver with Stidham can get a couple touchdowns, and New England, with the good running. And it's really the weak Denver defense that you think's strong, but it's really not. In the weather, it might. Drake May scores a lot of points. And how will he be affected by the cold weather? I don't think, because it's New England, I don't think as much, like I said, as it would be Jacksonville or Tampa or something. All right, let's go to scores and odds and see all the lines. So we have We have 3.5s with New England. So this was 5, dropping probably overreaction to Stidham. Oh, it's Stidham. He stinks. And now it's 3.5. I see a 4. 3.5s and 4, so I'm going to make it 4. And then total on the game 43 and a half, 43. Yeah, it's 43, 43 and a half. I'll mark it 43 and a half for my purposes. So I'm over 35, and now do I go under 49? Gives me a 14-point trap, which I think's really good. Again, it's based on the weather. Uh, Again, New England an A team. So this is, look, we're going with -4. So we got New England an A team with a 13 defense and Drake May. They're 18-1 in the teaser. Denver is a B team with a 21 defense. And Stidham, who we have no idea, they're 17-1 with Bo Nix. They're 33-3 with Bo Nix. You got to really ignore those. You kind of use them a little, but you got to ignore them because these aren't Stidham stats. These are these are Bo Nix stats. They're 17-1 at home. Okay, so it tells me they're a good home team. It tells me they cover a lot. Bo Nix, yes, you missed them, but you still have Sean Payton, and the defense hasn't changed. They're going to be competitive. So if we look at it in true last 5, New England's 31-13 points for, points against, where Denver's 25-21. So we have that. We basically, I think we'll get to 35. I don't know, like 43 and a half. I don't think I'd bet that over. I think that's a tough call. Now this game is at, what time is the game at? The game's at 3:00. So that means I got to get to the pool by 1:30. Because I kind of want the last 2 games. I kind of want to watch these. And then we've got Jesus Christ. All right. Seattle 2.5. There's a 2.5. So it's basically 2.5. That's what we thought. And the total in the game 46 and a couple 45 and a half. So we'll stick with 46. Like I said, it's an overplay. The Rams will light them up. Seattle will light up the Rams. This will easily be in the 50s or 60s. We only need 40. So that's your key play. That's your free play. Go over. I got 27-24 Rams winning. The Rams a 30 offense and a 26 defense, last 5. And Seattle a 28 with a 14, but it's skewed because 2 of the games were the Niners didn't have any offense. And then 1 game was Carolina that scored 6. But when the Rams played them, it was 38-37. So keep that in mind. Stafford against Darnell. Now, I really don't like the Seattle coach. Anybody stupid enough in overtime to go for 2 instead of kicking your extra point is an idiot, right? So we know that. The Rams in a teaser, 15-4, 31-7 the last 2 years, 46-10 the last 3 years, which does work. You've had Stafford and Sean McVay. 35 degrees, no wind. It's a perfect day there. They're 6-1 as a road dog and 12-3 the last few years as a road dog. So they're a good road dog, the Rams. And Seattle 15-3, but they're really not a good home favorite. And again, you can only use 1 year because they got Darnold. Now, did Darnold get over choking? I don't think so. He beat the Niners to win the 1 seed, basically by not playing. They just handed the ball off and they ran a lot so Darnold wouldn't throw the interceptions or get sacked. Then in the next game, he plays the Niners again, and it's the same thing. He doesn't really turn it over until they're up like 28-7, and then he starts throwing a little bit. So he didn't have the pressure of having to win the game. You're going to have pressure this game, and we'll see what happened. In the first game against the Rams, he threw 4 interceptions. We'll see what happens here. Um, this is a this is a different game now. This is to go to the Super Bowl. Darnell's going to start choking. He's never proved he could handle this type of game. I don't recall at USC if he did anything or not. I didn't pay attention there because he wasn't that good. So we will see what he does here. But until now, if he were to win this game and go 25-30 with 3 touchdowns and no picks, I'd say yes, he's fine. He's good to go. But until he does that, it's more he throws 4 picks and no touchdowns and gets sacked 5 times. And Rams will put pressure. They know what to do. Just like against golf, they knew what to do. So I definitely think this is tease the dog. I think the Rams can win easily. And with Stafford being the difference, and then I think this is totally an over because you tease it down to 40. So it's totally an over 40. So that's how I look at the game. So that's easy. The Denver, New England. Now with Bo Nix, the Denver would be a 2 or 3 point favorite. I would take New England in the 8. However, with Stidham, you don't know. It's an unknown. So it's very hard to play the game if you really don't know. Are they a live dog? I don't know with Stidham. So I had to play total because I really can't, as much as I like Denver and 10 at home, will Stidham make mistakes? Sure he will, but will he also throw touchdowns? We hope so. New England, Drake May, will he make mistakes? Absolutely. And again, he's on the road. There's a big difference playing a playoff game at home and playing a playoff game on the road. Look at 1977. Oakland and Pittsburgh went to Denver and both lost. You beat the monster Steelers and then the Raiders off the Super Bowl win. I mean, you beat 2 good teams. So it's high altitude. It's getting used to the, not enough oxygen. So it's a big deal, especially going to Denver. It'd be hard enough if New England was going to Cincinnati or Pittsburgh or somewhere or Buffalo, but here they're going to Denver, the Mile High. Unless you played there, it's very difficult. John C. We have bad weather. Okay. Everybody has bad weather, I think, now, John C. Could be 24-17 game. Could be anything. Depends on turnovers. Denver have been giving up a lot of points this year. No, I pointed out the 3 games. All that. Hi, good morning. I'm surprised over-under on Seattle-LA game is so low. I was thinking the line would be around 52, 53. I like to make my predictions before I see the lines that like you do. Yeah, I'm shocked. That's why I love the over 40. People are reading too much into the Seattle defense. As I pointed out, the last 3 games, they played the Niners, who have no receivers, and it was all McCaffrey in Seattle. And Seattle in the first game, they won 13-3. We're just no, the Seattle first game with the Niners, they ran the ball most of the time. They probably ran the ball 50, 60% of the time. So it was like an Army-Navy game. They were running, eating the clock to not let Darnold lose it for them. And that's how they won the 1 seed game, was mostly running. The Niners didn't have the ball that much. The next game, it got away. They ran the kickoff back, and the game was over right then. But I agree with you. Well, I'm calling 27-24. That's conservative. That's still a 51. In a teaser, we're doing 40, which is a joke. I mean, that's the best play on the board is the over. And then you can tease it with the Rams and 9. And then you're confused with the whole Denver game because it's Stidham. The line, you like to take Denver as a home dog, but it's Stidham and how good or bad is. And then I think they'll be okay, especially if they get the lead. We'll see how Drake May is with pressure on him on the road. We haven't seen that. We have no idea. He did nothing at North Carolina. He didn't play anybody. He did win at Buffalo. and they did win at Baltimore. I believe the game was at Baltimore. Baltimore wasn't very good, and neither really was Buffalo. Buffalo is really not a good team. No. I mean, they gave up 33, granted to Bo Nix, but Denver lit them up for 33. And the first game, Jacksonville lit them up for 24. Buffalo's problem has always been their defense stinks. And it's all Josh Allen. He runs too much. And they got Cook, and the receivers are okay. I was watching the Kansas City Buffalo, that overtime game in the playoffs yesterday. I was watching a lot of older football, and they score and it looks good, and then KC, boom, 2 plays later, they kick the field goal to tie, and then in overtime they march down the field. They were playing the steel curtain. They wouldn't have done that, and that's the problem. That's you say these teams are too much offensive oriented or running quarterback oriented. You need to have defense. Look at the teams in here. Seattle, 14 defense. Now, it's really not that strong. Again, it goes by last 5, and you had 2 Niner games in there that they couldn't score because all their players are injured. The Rams at 26, Denver at 21, and New England's at 13. Again, San Diego stinks, and then Houston, C.J. Stroud's not very good. But that's more like it. They gave up 16 to Houston. I think New England can score, and I think Denver's defense is kind of weak the last 6-7 games, right? Since the Giant game, they're giving up 30 points here, there, and everywhere. The altitude will definitely hurt New England. And we'll see how much balls he has in on a road playoff game, championship game for the Super Bowl. Let's see if he has any balls at all. Stidham probably has no pressure because he's not supposed to be there anyway. All that. I was telling my brother a few days ago, Rams 27-24. There you go. Denver can't get behind early. Sure they can. I think if Denver takes the lead, it'll pressure Drake May. He'll make turnovers. So I think in this game, it's critical to get the lead. Probably the first touchdown wins. All that. You want to kind of look at the game. I'm struggling. I think I got New England like 24-20 or, 21-20 or something like that. I think he gets into the 20s really, just because at the end of the game, they just start throwing and the defenses are prevent, and, you start scoring near the end, especially Stidham will say, what the fuck? And he'll start throwing. But, I think it'll be very low scoring first half, and then you'll get points second half. That seems to be the tale of the tape here lately. Terrible defense, terrible coaching. But we'll see. I think Stidham won't be that bad, but I don't think Drake May's all that either. People, there's a franchise quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Really? There's our franchise quarterback, Drake May. Really? And what exactly has he won? He beat Buffalo one time in Baltimore. That's his 2 wins out of the 13 or 14 they've won. Even in the playoffs, okay, give them credit for beating Houston. I give them credit, but C.J. Stroud threw 4 picks or 5 picks and a pick 6. So it was more C.J. Stroud lost the game than New England won it. And I don't know that Stidham's going to do that. But New England's got a tough defense. There's no question about it. If we look at defense, it'll be New England, Seattle, but I think it'll be the Rams and Denver in the Super Bowl. Even with Stidham, because I was watching the Giant Buffalo game with Hostetler. They have them all on like for 20 minutes. I was watching those. Hostetler looked fine. He looked better than Phil Simms, and he was the backup. And I think Stidham is okay. He played at Auburn, and he played, like I said, Alabama, Georgia, LSU. So it's not like those are probably better defenses than he's going to see here, especially the Alabama one. So I don't see that being a problem. I just think that I think it'll be a good game. It'll be turnovers, basically. the team with the most turnovers wins, and the team who gets ahead will create the turnovers. So if you're up 10-0, the other team's going to turn it over because they'll be forcing it. So the team that can run and the team that gets the turnovers wins the game. And at this point, I think it's going to be Denver. I think they'll be emotional at home, and I think they win the game. The Rams, Seattle, it doesn't matter. Stafford's going to eat them for lunch. He's already eaten them twice, and I give him a lot of credit for winning in 0 degrees at Chicago. That was not easy to do, but they got Caleb the 3 interceptions. I love that. So Caleb throws 3 interceptions, and people think he's an elite quarterback. There's the franchise quarterback. He threw 3 interceptions in a playoff game. And what was good about that? Well, he threw the miracle pass that the cornerback came up on and let the tight end catch. Was that planned? Sounds like it, right? So I don't know. So Caleb throws 3 interceptions, but the one pass neutralizes the 3 interceptions. I mean, give me a break. Caleb's still not a very good quarterback. He just throws up some miracle passes that are caught. Again, I don't know what the secondary's thinking. It's just ridiculous. So I don't know. But I think the Rams get the win here at Seattle. There's too much Stafford, Pukanuka, and Devontae Adams, and they can run the ball, and their defense will be all over Darnold, and I don't think Darnold can handle it. If the Rams get off on him, which I expect them to do, look out for at least 3 interceptions from Darnold and back to Mr. Choke. And we can't play him any other way but choke. We can't say, oh, he's not a choke anymore. He's a choke. He did the same thing for Minnesota. They went 15-2. Oops, he choked against the Lions, and then he choked in the playoffs. Couldn't even get a first down. I mean, it was pathetic. They just blitzed him, and he never saw a blitz before. Deer in the headlight. Well, what do you think the Rams are going to do? They watch the games. They know, hey, we just got to blitz Darnell, which is why they are running the ball a little bit more to counter the blitz. But I don't know. Again, if the Rams get the lead, 3 interceptions from Darnell. If they're able to run the ball and take the lead, then Seattle has a chance. But I still think the Rams win. So I think it's the Rams, Denver in the Super Bowl. And I think the Rams beat them. Unless Bo Nix plays, then we'll see. But I don't. Stafford showed balls winning in 0 degree in Chicago, and that'll get them over Seattle because I'll just say, fuck, we won in Chicago. It's fucking 0 degrees. Here it's 35. It's a heat wave. And so they'll be in it. They will not get blown out of it. So I might counter the Denver under with a Denver over, or Denver over with a Denver under. I might counter that just because it's you're not getting 50 points in a 5-degree weather day with probably not too much snow. How much wind? It's not windy there. So in a cold day, I mean, do you get 50 points against New England's defense and Denver's day? I just don't see that. And with Stidham. So yeah, I think the under. I think the counter. This is where I'm going to trap it, and I'll put them both with the Rams and 9 or whatever I got them with. But the Rams I like as a dog. I got Patriots 30-17. It's too cold. It's 5 degrees. I don't think so. Maybe. You think Drake May is the MVP of what? Do I think Drake May? I don't think he's any good. I don't think he's the MVP. Oh wait, they beat the Jets in Miami twice. What am I thinking? No, I mean the MVP is, it's probably like Pukanuka or, who had a good year. Bo Nix should be up there. They're the 1 seed. The other 1 seed is Seattle. You can't make Darnell. Maybe Kenneth Walker or one of those guys. They're really the best players, not Drake May. He's not the best player on his team. I think that Stevenson guy or that Martinez, the quarterback, is better. So I don't buy that. I don't think Drake May. I don't know where they get this from. Well, he's the quarterback on a good team, so he's the MVP. The MVP is the best player in the league, and he's not the best player in the league. If it's a quarterback, it's obviously Stanford, especially after last week. If it's the best player, it's one of these defensive players. It's like in college. The best player is whatchamacallit, Ruben on Miami, right? He's the best player in college football. He's not the best quarterback because, oh, by the way, he's a defensive tackle. He's the best player. He's the number one pick. If you don't draft him number one, you shouldn't be doing football. Go work at the grocery store. So that's what I see right now. Will the cold bother New England, Denver? It has to. 5 degrees is 5 degrees. Just like last week with the Bear game. Well, it wasn't windy. It was 0 out, you idiots. People don't even understand wind chill because now it's like feels like. Well, it feels like. Yeah, that's fucking wind chill. It's cold out there. All I know is I went out to go swim, and I going from the parking lot in, which is maybe a tenth of a mile. I couldn't wait to get in the building. It was freezing. I had a coat on and gloves, and it was freaking freezing. And I said to myself, I couldn't play 3.5 hours of football in this shit, even standing out there, even with the hoodie they put on. No, you can't. 5 degrees is just very, very cold, and you just don't function as well. And you drop passes because the ball is slick, and you don't make tackles. And Alyssa goes, well, but when they warm up out there, I go, no, the offense is on the field, the defense is standing on the sidelines, getting cold again, and then they take their wrap off, they go on the field, they're cold. So it's not a continuous like basketball where they're on the court getting a sweat up. They're if it's 3 and out, that's the worst thing for them. So no, I don't buy Drake May for the MVP. It was a pleasure watching these older games. What I watched, like the old Raiders Steeler game in 70, the 75 championship game in Pittsburgh with the cold, and they just lay a forearm to Swan and knock him out. No penalty. Nothing. Good hit. Good, clean hit. He caught the ball, fumbled, was unconscious. No penalty. I think there might have been a penalty for personal foul, I think, but none of these stupid stoppages for review. I think there was one review in the 80s games. Somebody had scored and they didn't score. They really didn't score. They called it a touchdown. They did review it in like 10 seconds and said, no, he's short or something. There was a quick review, not this 5-minute, let's have commercials review. So no, I'm not seeing that. There's no line to gain. What is that? This is socialism. Let's change all the names in history. It's all bullshit. The line to gain. What is that? It doesn't even make sense. The line to gain. To gain what? Oh, the first down. Did he get a first down? Did he, so it's just, did he get a first down or not? There's no line to gain. And this other stupid thing is where they want to monitor, they're 2 inches short or not. They want to, yeah, I really trust that. I mean, at least you can see the chain. To go to a digital monitor is crazy. Digital isn't very good, right? We don't trust it. It can be manipulated. We want to see it. We don't want to have computers do everything. This is a very dangerous time. This whole AI, very dangerous. All AI does is collect data. It can't analyze, and it doesn't explain very well, and it's wrong a lot. So you're anticipating AI to do this and that. It also takes a lot of silver, a lot of power. So be careful what you trust. It's better if you do it on your own and figure it out than what you trust. But yeah, I don't know. New England 30-17 sounds very high to me. I do think Denver can score, can get 14-17. I don't think New England, maybe they can get there. It's how are they going to handle the cold is really the key to it. And that's where I'm not sure. Anyway, again, we can't really make an assertion because it's Stidham who we have no data on. So you don't know. We see this in college all the time. Cam Rising's first game, he puts up 40 points. Who's he? And after a few games of putting up 40, we then start betting him over and winning a fortune. But before his first game, we don't know. And we see it a lot in college. All of a sudden, they change quarterback, somebody gets hurt. You have no idea who the backup is. The coaches are really stupid because they don't play the best quarterback. They play that, oh, he's a senior or something. So it's really hard to figure who the best quarterback is. Um, so anyway, let's enjoy. So 3 o'clock, Denver, New England from Denver, and it's going to be very cold. Look for Drake May to run a lot. New England's defense will make it hard for Denver to run. So it's going to be Stidham, and we'll see. Again, Mile High will definitely play a factor in making New England tired and not Denver. But the real game is LA Seattle, and I think LA wins the game. I don't think that's too much of an issue. Rams are the better team. It's really not close. Kenneth Walker, okay, he'll run. And Darnold, you don't want throwing. And their defense, Stafford will eat it alive like he just did 3 weeks ago, 38-37. It was 30-30 in overtime. So why would Stafford not eat it alive? So anyway, that's what we've got. So your free play, go over in the Ram game. That's a joke. And like I said, you can play the Rams in 9. And now I don't know. I was over 35 in the Denver game. Now I might be under 49. And hope the game lands there because it's so cold out. Otherwise, in a normal day, 30 degrees, 25 degrees, this would go over fairly easy. Stidham will get points. He's not going to get shut out, I wouldn't think. New England's defense showed signs, but they gave up 16 points to C.J. Stroud. I mean, how good can they be? On the road in the high altitude, they're going to get tired. So I think we get it like in the fourth quarter. John C. Ads are crazy these days. It's all back to killing your concentration, right? Remember, the social media attack on us is to kill our concentration by constantly breaking, it up. So if you go on YouTube, it's you turn on a movie, or you go on Pluto or Netflix or Pluto or Tubi, you get about 7-8 minutes of movie, and then there's 6 commercials, and every 6-7 minutes they're doing it again. You don't even know what movie you're watching. You're like, what movie? By the 7th commercial, now they're not long. They're probably 2 minutes. It's probably a 2-minute break, but it's enough to like, what am I watching? And so I usually rewind it. What I try to do, like in The Gambler, I let it run past, then I rewind it to when he's going to Vegas, and then I watch the activity in Vegas, and they cut the commercials because they've already, in their mind, already played them. So I get to watch like 15 minutes uninterrupted. But that's what I do. But like in Rounders, I only watch the first and last scenes. The rest of it's the stupidest movie I've ever seen. But I like, I figured out the whole first and last scenes. Like when Teddy KGB's got aces, that was very easy to figure out because what did he do? He kind of goes, and then he checks. You're only checking there. So when the flop comes with the third ace, he's not betting. He's got 3 aces. Matt Damon doesn't know what he's doing. Well, against a guy like Teddy KGB, I can't check. I gotta bet a lot. Yeah, that really did a lot. And then he didn't figure it. Oh, I think he's got the flush. You think he's calling with looking for a flush? And it was very obvious. And then of course eating the Oreo cookie. Here's Mr. Vegas, Matt Damon, who doesn't know what a tell is and doesn't look at the tell and doesn't say hey, and all these other guys like Don Corleone, or no, the other guy, what was he in the Batman movie? Um, he's the big poker player, the big pool player and everything, and he couldn't so as much as he's seen him, he couldn't figure out the Oreo cookie, is the tell, and then he tells them to tell, like, the dumbest thing you could do. So if I'm Matt Damon and I see and I catch that he tells, I certainly wouldn't have said, "I folded 2 pair because I know you have a straight." I would never have said that. And I'm not trying to put him on tilt. I don't need him on tilt. If he eats the Oreo, I fold. If he doesn't eat the Oreo, I bet. It's simple as that. You would have won it in 10 hands. You would have gotten away from him eating the cookie. And when he didn't eat it, you would have bet because he didn't have it. So it's amazing how Mr. Tell, I'm gonna go retire and live in Vegas and play poker. Yeah, son, you're not gonna do shit. You're gonna last there 5 minutes and then you'll be back. I thought it was a terrible movie. All the shit with that Ed Norton character, I just threw up. Yeah, I ran you up $7,000. Yeah, go fuck yourself. You pay it. I'm not paying it. I would never have allowed it. Um, and then he gets him in trouble with the police at that police poker game. Yeah, I'm cleaning up. Well, I'll come in and play. Well, why didn't Matt Damon get up and leave? He doesn't want to play with him. Nothing good can come up of it. And the cop catches him cheating. Oh, I never been caught before. Yeah, right. Okay. So I mean that whole Edward Norton character, I have no idea what it added to the movie. But this Matt Damon and Don, what was it? Don Corleone. I want to say Don Corleone, Don Falcone, right, from Batman. These guys are idiots. These are professional. Well, can I play with these professional idiots? Thank you. Yeah, I can eat cookies all day, and they would have no idea. So it was a really poor movie, but I only watched the beginning and the end. But back to your commercials, it's just terrible. I watch Netflix sometimes just so I don't have to watch commercials. When I'm going to sleep, I'll turn on Netflix, and it's just because it doesn't have commercials. Because I hate, like, I'm trying to go to sleep, and then here comes commercials on Tubi or something, and or on YouTube. I can't watch YouTube to go to sleep because I'll have to constantly skip, skip, skip. They do have all the James Bond movies on Netflix, which is good because there's no commercials in them, and some of them we haven't seen in a while. So I was surprised by that. They never do, but I guess they're getting all this football money from the NFL. They can afford it, which I doubt. I don't think they get that much money. I don't think they get a lot of extra money. Uh, I think people who have Netflix watch the games like me, but I'm not paying. If I wasn't on Netflix, I would never play to get it. And I keep hearing, "Oh, they're paying for the apps." Nobody's paying for the apps. No, those people are who have apps are going broke, and they're not. I wouldn't count on paying for the apps. In my title, I've been watching some of these, like, tax on the gold and silver, 28% and everything. And as I told you, um, first of all, we're not really trying to sell a lot, right? We're trying to buy and accumulate. We're not really looking to sell. So I don't get all that. Oh, you made 100 grand, you got to pay 20%. No, this isn't a stock. We're not in it to sell it. Now, if we do sell an ounce or two, there's no tax. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm not going to get 1099. If I don't get 1099, we're on the honor system. I'm supposed to just pay the tax, even though I don't get a 1099. What world do you live in? Nobody. It's like speeding. Everybody speeds. Everybody runs stop signs. If I don't get caught, I don't get caught. But everybody speeds, and there's no way in hell I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay capital gains tax on selling 2 ounces of gold, or 3 ounces, or 10 ounces of silver. You don't get 1099. If the government doesn't know you sold it, you're just going to say, "Hey, yeah, I sold it. Gosh darn it, I sold it. Let me pay my tax." And 28% on capital gains. It's not a capital gain. My capital gains was zero. I bought it for 4,000. I sold it for 4,000. I don't know what you're talking about. But I don't know anybody who's gonna sit there and, yeah, I didn't get a 1099, but I will pay it. No, that's stocks. So I think what they're trying to do is get you scared and get you to not buy the gold and silver, because this is obviously put out by the government or the Wall Street banks to get you into stocks because they want you in money, they want you in stocks where they make, or in the banks where they make money on you. So, oh, you don't want to be in gold and silver. Oh, no, no, you'll have to pay capital gains tax. Don't you pay tax on your stocks when they go up and when you sell them and JP Morgan sends the 1099 to the government? Now you got to pay tax on it. So I don't know this honor system. Uh, like the government's honest. No, I don't trust the government, and there's no way I'm gonna voluntarily. Yeah, gosh darn it, I sold 2 ounces of gold and I made $2,000. So let me pay 28%. Yeah, not going to happen. And it's not a capital gains. These are not stocks I'm buying and selling. This is money. And the fact it went up, I'm just trading it. I'm trading my dollars for money for gold, and I'll trade the gold back for dollars. That's just a trade. I don't pay tax on trades. So it's all bullshit. Uh, it's just so weird. They try to not let you in it because the banks can't control you and the government doesn't know you have it because it's under the radar. You have 20 ounces of gold. Nobody knows you have it. And nobody knows if and when you sell it. And you're not going to sell 20. We're not buying 20 ounces to watch it go up and then sell it. Like we bought it at 3 grand, it's 4 grand. We're going to sell it. Nobody's buying it for that. So they totally misconstrue that it's a stock, and they're trying to scare you into, Luke was like this. Oh, I'm going to buy the house. I got to pay 28%. I'm like, no, you don't, Luke. First of all, you don't sell. You sell 20 ounces of it here, and maybe a month later, 20 more ounces. You don't get 1099. Why the hell would you report it as income? You got to be out of your mind. Well, the bank will know. Well, the bank will know what? You got to check for 20 ounces of gold. Okay, fine. So what? Uh, I don't know. You make up some excuse, but you know, you don't call it gold. Yeah, I went to Vegas and they gave me a check, or well, it'd be hard because it'll be, the coin, Joe's coins who's giving you a check. But yeah, that's the concern. But none of us, unless he wants to buy a house, none of us is gonna. We'll sell 2 or 3 ounces, and if we get the check, we'll put it in the bank. It'll be not too much. Although as gold goes to 20, 30,000, it'll be a little bit harder to make that claim. But oh well, that's fine with me. If I bought gold for 2,000 and it hits 25,000, I'll be happy to pay 10% in tax or whatever. Plus, we're not making any money, so our tax rate's going to be very, very low, right? We're basically retired, so so let's say I sell 10 ounces, which I would never do for, it's 30,000 an ounce for 300 grand. Well, my tax rate's going to be zero because I get Social Security. That's it. So I don't make any money. So I'm in this low tax bracket to start with. And who's the hell selling 10 ounces of gold? I mean, maybe an ounce or two. Maybe you have your girlfriend uh, uh, buy it and put it in her account, and then she gives you the money, or you give her a couple hundred for doing it. And then she won't have a tax return. So, I mean, you can do all sorts of things. Have your kid do it. He's 5 years old. Well, we'll open up a bank account so he can get the gold and silver. But they're trying to scare you into not being in the stocks, to being in the annuities and then the CDs and the banks and stuff like that. And I think that's terrible. Uh, I don't know how they can just say it's a capital gain. It's not. It's not a stock. As much as they want it to be, it's money. It's not a stock. We could also sell it in Switzerland or go to a different country to sell it. So we don't have to sell it in the U.S. and pay this tax. So anyway, I saw that. I was really concerned, but again, they don't tell you the whole story, and they're trying to scare you. It's AI, so of course the government's putting it out like, oh, you're gonna pay all these taxes, so don't buy gold and silver because you're afraid of the tax. Well, I did that today. I bought it at what? Let's say I bought gold at 2,000. Goes to 4,000. I made 100%. It goes to 6,000. I make 200%. Silver is better. I bought it at 25. At 50 was 100%. At 75 was 200%. At 100, it's 300%. So I made 300% on my silver. Do I really? Oh, I got to pay 28. Well, I made 300. So okay, but again, that's 1,000 ounces of silver you got to sell. So we're not going to sell 1,000 ounces. I mean, if you need the money, what you do is maybe you sell 20 ounces here, and a month later, maybe you sell another 20 ounces, and you put the check in the bank, and you make up some story. Oh yeah, somebody died and left me the money, or whatever you want to do, and but there's really no tax for it because you're not getting 1099, so the government doesn't even know anything about it. So why would you tell the government? Oh yeah, gosh darn it, I made money. I'm going to tell you because I didn't get 1099. So again, it's 1,000 ounces of silver before you pay a 1099, and it's I think 32 ounces of gold, and there's really no like people buy eagles because there's no tax on eagles, and they don't buy the Krugerrands and the Philharmonics and the Maple Leafs, but as long as you sell less than 32 ounces of that, there's no tax. We're not looking to. We didn't buy all this to sell it like a stock. You got 100 ounces of gold. We're not looking to sell the 100 ounces. Never, never, never looking to sell the 100 ounces. We are going to sell an ounce or two here and there. We are not looking to sell the 100. This was not the plan, is not to buy it, to sell it, to make profit, to get back into this shit. So if you got 100 ounces at 2,000 and now it's 20,000 and you go to sell it, what are you going to do with the money? You're going to put it in this. You don't want it in there. That's the whole point. You got out of this. So you're not looking to sell it. You're looking to hold it. Like I said, maybe you need to sell an ounce or two. Then I see this video where the guy's talking about, well, you don't really want to own gold. You want to own food and that because gold, you can't eat gold. That's like saying I can't go to the grocery store with gold. It's the stupidest argument I've ever heard in my life. What do you mean I can't eat gold? Yes, I can pay for things. It's not different than money, right? Well, what am I going to do with this? I can't eat this. Well, I can buy things at the grocery. Well, I can do the same with gold and silver. I can buy things at the grocery store. Absolutely. Well, John C., you're red hot here. TK, Mike McCarthy is coach of the Steelers. Well, they won't win anything. I think he's terrible, and they'll be lucky to go 500. TK can't trust much in this life. Always trust your gut instinct. Well, you can make good decisions with your intelligence. TK, do you do other sports after football season? Baseball. I do like pick baseball. I usually do it here. Basketball playoffs. I do that. Hockey, I don't touch. Soccer, I don't touch. So basketball, I do quite well, but it's psychological playoff. The team's down 1-0 and they have to win. The team's down 2-1. They can't go down 3-1. The team's 3-1 has to win. So it's making psychological bets in the best basketball series. So I only bet NBA playoff basketball because I'm too busy with football and there's too much going on in basketball. It's every day. And who's going to sit out? Can you imagine making a bet and then the guy sits out? What is that shit? I mean, I can't even watch pro basketball to tell you the truth. Baseball, it's just as fixed. And the guys, oh, I can only pitch 6 innings. Oh, I can't pitch anymore. I'm a baby. Well, only 6 innings. I pitched 90 pitches. That's it. That's all you're getting from me. We're paying you 20 million. Yeah, gosh darn it, I just don't feel good. So no, I don't. Baseball. I do Mess around with that a little, but not serious. Do handicap four is mostly, like I said, it's 99% football, NBA playoffs, and it's a little bit of baseball, but not serious about it. It's just very difficult baseball, and NBA I can do pretty well at. So we've got $103 silver. Well, it's going to push back. Anybody that says that is clueless. It's not going to push back. The reason it's high is because there's a lot of demand and low supply. That's what it is. And so, therefore, it's not going anywhere. Uh, so, it's only going to keep going up and up until you finally reach the market. The market's here, silver's here at 100. It's going to keep going and going and going until it hits this. And in silver, it's at least $1,000, could be higher. Look at Pat from Singapore. You got 6-hour lines waiting to buy, and they don't even have inventory of gold and silver to buy. Why would the price go down? I'd be raising my price if I got 6 hours of demand waiting for me. I was watching something about markets. I'm trying to think. Oh, it's junk silver. So it's one of these, the silver store. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Let's see what it is. So the guy brings junk silver to a silver store. The quarters, dimes, and nickels that have silver in them. You don't even know what they have. Maybe they're 90%, maybe they're 80%. We don't know. We don't care. So he takes it into the dealer, and I need 15,000 or whatever for it. The dealer says, "No, I can't do that." Then he turned into one of the pawn shops because he says, "I need to make profit on it. I can't make profit on it." Well, dude, you need inventory to sell or you don't. Now, the public is clueless right now. They don't get these high prices that they're going to go much higher. They don't have a clue. And so, therefore, they're afraid to buy them, and the dealer's afraid to buy it, bring in more inventory to sell because it's so expensive. He doesn't think there's buyers out there. So the dealer should be buying it right and left, going, well, I know I'm going to be able, as the price goes to 200 an ounce, I'll be able to sell it. I'm glad I got it at $100 an ounce. But the dealers are so stupid, they don't understand this. And don't get into junk silver. I'm telling you. Now, if you have stainless sterling silver, silverware and stuff, well, that's different. You've got it. If you got jewelry, well, you got it. I'd hold on to it for a while. The refineries can't refine enough fast enough because they're just getting blanketed because people don't understand. This is the whole problem. People just don't understand, and they think, oh, this is as high as it's going. I'm going to dump it. No, this is nowhere near as high as it's going. We're looking at $1,000 silver and at least $10,000 gold. So why would 5,000 be too high, and why would $100 silver be too high? Well, it went up a lot lately, yeah, and it's going to keep going up because you don't even understand the pricing. China is creating these high prices, right? COMEX, you can't short it anymore because you do this. You do the margin, right? And on the margin, you buy 100 ounces for 10 ounces or 5 ounces. So it's all margin. But because the price is going up, you keep getting margin called, and therefore you can't cover. So you don't want to go short. So it's a one-way game, right? Everybody wants to buy because they need it. All these companies need it, and all the people like us need it and want it, and trade our dollars for the gold and silver. So again, it's ignorance that the dollar's worthless. This is the whole thing that's going on. Neither the dealer nor the buyer at these silver stores understand. And it's just ridiculous. So therefore, when the price is going up, people are going, oh, it's going to come back down. I don't want to buy it now. Yeah, you do want to buy it now. This is the sale of the century. You can buy it at 100 and wait soon it'll be 500, and then it'll be 1,000, and we'll see how high it goes. But it's not at anywhere near its high at 100. You just don't know. You're blind because it's been paper fixed since 1973 or 4, whenever Comex came in, and they pushed the price down based on uh, options, based on JP Morgan, not based on the market, which is what we have now in China. So the market's pushing the price up, and Comex is nowhere to be seen to push it down. So you're getting a real value, only we're not even halfway home yet. So people, this guy selling his junk silver never should have done it, but then the dealer didn't want him. Said, "Well, I'll pay $10 under spot for your junk silver." Now, first of all, it's 90%. We're dealing in. This is 999, right? Let me see that. See right here. This is 49 silver, right? So it's whatever the ounce is. The 90 silver, the junk silver, it's not it's not 999. So at 103, I get 103 for that. If you got this junk silver, because there's some silver in these coins, you're getting maybe if it's 103, maybe you're getting 93 for it, which isn't bad. It's only 90, but the dealer should be buying as much as you can. But to use the excuse, I can't sell it, now you're sounding like a pawn shop. Well, I got to be able to sell it, so I'm gonna knock it off $100, and then I have to sell it. Well, but the market for silver is $100 right now, and that's not even the market. That's the paper market. The paper market's $103. That's what I want, 103. I don't want 90 for something that's 103. It's worth 103. That's what I want. So keep that in mind. You're trying to get what the fair value. In other words, it's a little difficult with the 90 with the junk silver. I never was into that, and I won't buy that. I think it's a joke. But because this was so cheap. Like I said, I bought this at $30, and it's a 2 ouncer. So why would I buy junk when I could get this so cheap? But I knew what's going to happen, not the bullshit where, well, it might drop. No, it's not dropping. It's going higher and higher and higher because there's huge demand and very low supply. And that's why. And all the silver that China has and India has and Russia has doesn't mean that it's not available. So yes, there is a lot of silver, but it's not available. It's what's available, and it's very, very little. And the demand's huge because these companies need it, as well as me and you want it. We want physical to get out of the dollar. So as people start waking up that the dollars are worthless, the euro, the British pound, the Swiss franc, they're all worthless, then the light goes on. Oh shit, I need gold or silver. And they're going to pay 10 times for it. But see, when you have to buy it versus when you want to buy it, we wanted to buy it, right? We're about $25. Give me 20 ounces. Yeah, give me another 20. Hit me another 20. We don't have a problem with it because we know we're 5 steps ahead of the game. We know where it's going. That's why I'm going to look for an old video in 2021 when I first got the gold, where I call $1,000 silver and $10,000 gold when the prices were 1,800 and 2025 for silver, and I'm calling for that. So I know that's where it's going. So I want to buy as much as I can, and just keep doing that. So believe me, I would, if I was working, I wouldn't be done. But now I'm kind of retired because I'm looking. I think I made close to $50,000 in the month of in the January. It's only the 25th, but when you look at January 1st, silver was 52 or something, and now it's 100. I've doubled my silver money, and gold went from 4,200 to 5,000 basically. It's not even been a month. Where else can you get a job like this where you can make that kind of money? Well, maybe one of these sportscasters on one of these stupid networks or something. and it's tax free. I don't pay tax. There's no income tax because it's not really income. They could call it a capital gain so that it's not income, but I'm certainly not in the 28% bracket. I'm not making money, even though wink, wink, I am making money because my money is in gold and silver and it's going up. It's the beautiful plan. But that's what you got to realize. So they're trying to play games with you with this 28% tax. It's only if you sell 1,000 ounces of silver, which nobody's going to do, and you can sell 200 ounces. But why are you selling it, especially at $100? Now, okay, you need money. I get it. People will need money, but you sell a few ounces. You don't need to sell your whole. You're not trying to sell all your inventory. I don't think I'll ever sell all the inventory. An ounce here, an ounce there, 2 ounces here, 2 ounces there. That's it. But I'm not looking to sell the whole thing. That's not the purpose of this game. The game is to buy as much inventory as you can to get out of the dollar. So you're getting out of the dollar to buy gold and silver, but not to sell it, not to get back into the dollar. That's the whole point of the game is you've got to get out of this. Keep a little bit for bills and get out of it. That's the point. So they can charge 28% all they want. I'm not selling very much, if anything. And my tax bracket is going to be very, very low because it's just Social Security. But I'm making more money in gold and silver than I ever made in a job. That's just in 1 month. I can't wait till like 6 months in June. Who knows what we'll make by then. $500 silver and $7,000 gold. Yeah. So I keep my little scoreboard. So I'm at a million when we hit $10,000 gold and I think it was like 500 or $600 silver. Then we're millionaires. Well, depending on how many ounces you have. Luke will be different because he's got a lot of silver. I don't know how much gold he has. But this is not a profit-taking exercise. This is not, I bought the stock at 50, it's at 100, I'm going to sell, and I made $50 a share, and I bought 100 shares, I made good money. Again, then you got to pull it out, and then you get this little 1099 that you got to pay tax on it and to get your money. I like how the government's everybody's partner. Oh, you won the lottery. Thank you. Oh, you hit a big slot machine. Well, we'll take our cut. Oh, gold and silver going up. Well, we'll take our cut. Oh, you made a lot of money in stocks. We'll take our cut. Oh, I didn't realize we were partners. And at what point do you pay me? Oh, you don't. It's always me paying you. If I lose, well, sorry. No, we don't help you when you lose. Oh, wait a minute. If I win 100 grand, you want 28%, but when I lose 100 grand, where's my 28%? A very corrupt government, as we know. So silver and gold keeps you off the system. No interest income, no income at all. It's going up. We're not paying. There's no income tax because it's not income. It's just a good investment. Just like if you got a manual card, it goes up. You don't pay tax on it. You pay tax when you sell it. If you get 1099, then that's the problem on eBay. If you sell it, I think they do 1099 you. But then is it a capital gains or just a profit? That part I don't know. But then you would have to say, well, yeah, I know I sold it, but it's not all profit. It's half profit or something. So that is a problem with eBay if they do 1099 you, which I think they do. That's what the government's trying to do more of, just get involved with us. And that's what this whole digital thing's about. It's, now they're trying to look into what you're buying. I was watching something this morning on digital where the banks are going to monitor your spend thing. So I send the gals PayPal 100 here, 200 there, and they want to look at my, something unusual. Or in your bank, you do a lot of transactions, and they're all $100, $200. All of a sudden, here's one for 1,000. They're going to flag you and go, oh, what is it? Maybe not 1,000, but let's say 10,000. They're going to, what is that? And they might freeze your account or block your account for a while until they see what it is. And that's all what AI is doing. And this is the poison of AI. It's not good. People selling it as good. It's not good. We got profit looking at football bets. Oh, what's this? Give me the AI score of it. Yeah, it's just going to take averages, which are not accurate because you don't want the full year. You want what I do, last five, maybe last 6 or 7 games, and take the average. And that's really what the team's playing like now after certain injuries and who they're playing. Oh, they played the Jets in Miami and New Orleans. Who was that team? Uh, what was it? New England, who was playing all the shit teams, and now they're playing. They still aren't playing good. They played two Buffaloes and a Baltimore, and now they played what? San Diego, who sucks, and Houston, who doesn't have an offense. So they look, I don't know. So it's again the scheduling that skews it, but that's all AI is doing is just taking averages, which we can do the same thing. John C. Uh, well, you can't trust much in life. That's why you trust yourself. That's why you learn, and that's why you be careful who you listen to. As I'm watching these idiot videos now, the idiot doesn't challenge anything or question anything. They just go along with it. People like us, okay, explain that, right? So I'm very good at explaining what I'm talking about. So if you got to figure it out and get the explanation, right? Why is AI coming up with 2420 or whatever? You can't just take it blindly. So if you know and understand certain things, then you don't trust that. You don't really trust anybody. I don't trust Alligator, Mark McGuire a little bit, but he backs it up. And Egon, I know he's smart. Now the other guy uh, he's got some guy Matthew Piffenbauer. I don't like him at all. He's not an Austrian. He's just a salesman. He's a stockbroker type. I don't trust them at all. That's why I don't trust Peter Schiff and I know Andy Scheckman and Jim Reichert. These are not economists, so I don't trust them. Uh, but I know enough to know what's real and isn't. Oh, inflation. Yeah, prices are up 2%. As soon as I hear that, I turn it off because I that's not how you measure. If you could even measure inflation at all, it's a phony thing to try to measure and say it's 2%. That's just a blatant lie. But you have to know it's a lie. Then you don't listen to it. That's how you trust yourself and don't trust anybody. So here are these people saying inflation's 2 or 3%. I wouldn't trust another word that came out of their mouth. Now, when I'm telling you it's money printed and the value of the dollar dropping and it's thousands of percent, then you go, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. So those are the people that now I know who to trust, and that's how you do it. So you really have to know the topic that they're talking about to trust them. Always trust your gut instinct. Yeah, because it's normally what you know. Right? So it's something like today, I trust my gut instinct says the Rams are going to win. So I like it. And they're the dog. My gut instinct on New England and Denver is I don't know about Stidham. So my gut instinct says I think Denver can win, but I can't trust Stidham. But I do trust Sean McVay or Sean Payton. So I think he gets the win, not Stidham. I think he'll be able to throw in that. I think the weather will be a critical thing. But I can't instinct that. If it was Bo Nix, I would definitely. If Bo Nix was getting four, it'd be a lock. But I think if Bo Nix was playing, Denver was a 1 point favorite. Do you do okay? TK, they did this to me. They flagged my account. Can't be gullible. Well, they flagged your account for something that you did, and it doesn't mean anything. You can get another account in another bank and they will, if they close your account, let's say you have 2 grand in the account, they'll close the account, they'll give you the 2 grand, and then you go to another bank and open an account there. They don't care. Banks don't care. They want your money. That's just what the banks do. They want your money. They want to make loans with you. That's how they make money. That's how a bank works. So, yeah, if the account gets flagged, just go to another bank. and you just got to change if you have direct deposits coming in, or if you have bills, you got to change accounts. So it's a pain in the ass for, a few hours, and then everything's back to normal. So you do that. Can't be gullible. Well, no, you should never be gullible. I think women make us the most gullible. Uh, I think we trust women uh, because it's sexual, and what else is your choice, right? So you see a hot blonde, and she starts talking to you at a bar, and your radar should go up like, why are you talking to me? You're a hot blonde. You probably have 100 boyfriends. What would you be talking to me for? And that's why, like, if you have gold or silver, you got to be very quiet about it. Because if you tell hot blonde, hey, oh yeah, I got gold and silver. Look, yeah, you're in trouble because she'll steal it. You've got to be able to trust her. So it's got to be somebody you've known for years, or a family member, and even a family member. A story about my brother. I mean, he's a thief, and basically, he, my dad died and left me a $8,000 life insurance policy. So I told my brother, "Did you get anything from dad?" He said, "No." He says, "I want half of yours." Well, dad didn't leave you anything. He left it for me. There was no instructions that half goes to you. Why the fuck would I give you anything? So he tried to take my inheritance from my dad. And this is my brother. What a loser that guy is. So you got to be very careful to say, yeah, I got 5 ounces of gold, or I got 10 ounces of silver. You must be very careful with that, and not really tell too many people, only people that you can trust. Uh, Even now, I have my money in a safe place, and it's a key safe, and I'm like, well, who do I give the copy of the key to? If something happens to me, then you got to be able to get to the gold and the silver and the Mickey Mantle cards and everything else. And I don't know what to do with it. I'm kind of waiting for Daria. And, if I'm with her or Jenna, then I'll give them the key. But otherwise, I don't know. And that's the problem. So I'll try giving a little bit of my gold and silver away, just to people that need it. That never hurts. And that's why you get a lot of it. But outside of that, it's all gut instinct. It's you're looking for signs. Can I trust you or not? That's a very critical thing. That's why I show you the stoic things. Uh, the stoic people will love you for you, not with an alternative purpose. Uh, he'll give me a ride. Oh, he's got money. He'll treat for dinner. He'll do this. He'll do that. And that's what you're trying to avoid versus somebody who you want to take the dinner and give rides to. So that's really what you're trying to figure out. Who can I trust? And a lot of it's by conversation. Are they yes people? There's one guy at the club who keeps hammering me on gold and silver. What are you going to do when you sell it? What fiat money are you going to get? I says, this guy's just hammering me, and I wouldn't trust him. If I see him again, I'll never talk to him. He just like I'm trying to tell him, about gold and silver, and I said, well, at the end, gold and silver will be the money. So what's going to happen? Let's go there. You want to charge 28% tax if I sell the gold and silver for fiat money. Well, what happens in a year when the money's gone and the money's now gold and silver? Now I'm using it to shop and eat and do other things with it. I'm not really looking to sell it. So you're not getting 28% from me anymore. I got to go to the hot tub and in the sun and air out my cold. I might put my onions on my feet watching the games. So 3 o'clock, I'll be out of here by 1, but it's only 12, so we're fine. What are you going to do when we're using gold and silver as money? So I'm not selling it. but I'm using it uh, to make my purchases with, then what happens? So that's kind of what we're waiting for. So we're not looking to sell it and pay 28% capital gains. This is not that. We're not selling it and getting back into this crap or this crap. Kind of get where I am. I'm not looking to sell it to get back into this. So why would I pay 28%? So these go away. And now I have this, and I'm using this at the grocery store, only in money form, goldback or silverback currency. So now I'm not paying 28% because I'm not selling it. I'm just using it as the money to buy things because the money that you've created is worthless. This is worth zero. So the last thing you really want to do is sell it. If you do have to sell it, like I say, you want to go on a vacation or you want to do this or that or pay a bill, you're only selling an ounce or two. And I'd be more apt to sell silver than gold. It depends on what I need, how much, but you'd be more apt to do that. And there's no 1099, there's no tax. Just like poker, you go win $1,000 at MGM playing poker. You're not paying tax. They're not 1099 you. So why would you pay tax on it? This whole thing of well, we'll get the people to pay tax. Well, you got to pay it. You're a good citizen. You still have to pay tax, things like that. You're like, no, we don't. We don't have to pay tax. We don't pay tax. I think that's why casinos are so popular because it's really tax free. You win 1,000 at blackjack, you're not. There's no tax. The casino is only 1099 you, and I had won all that money on my football bets. I didn't get 1099. They said we don't 1099 that. Is World Series of Poker winnings. You win it, your final table, you win $1 million, you're getting taxed. Or you hit a slot machine for 30, 40, $50,000, you're going to get a tax on that because they know that's what you got. Otherwise, they're not keeping track of you. Oh, yeah, I won 2 grand playing blackjack. Yeah, because you don't have to take it all at once anyway. If they did, you'd take 1,000 here and a half hour later, cash the other 1,000 in and leave. But they're not 1099 you. So it's free, and nobody's running saying, "Oh yeah, I won in blackjack. Let me put it on my tax return." Yeah, that's not going to happen. So again, there's a bit much that the government wants. Anytime you make money, they want their hands in it. I don't agree with that at all. So my guy will not 1099 me, but I'm not going to sell 1,000 ounces of silver, never, and I'm not going to sell, uh, I think 32 ounces of gold ever. I mean, an ounce here and an ounce there, but that's it. And as the price goes up, I'm not gonna. And it's based on ounces. It's not. Oh, now gold's 20,000 an ounce, so therefore it's a 10.9. No, it's still 32 ounces. So just don't sell 32 ounces, and you're fine. You sell 2 or 3 ounces here, and maybe go back next week and sell 2 or 3 ounces if you need that kind of money. But don't be stupid. Don't go, oh, I need 20 ounces. So you don't do that. Uh, Natural, was that fitness with a K? Natural fitness is best for you. Natural everything, natural food, natural. You got to stay away from all the chemicals, basically. But what's this coming from? Natural fitness. Uh, all right. So anyway, that's what you have. So be smart to sell an ounce or two there, here and there. As we get higher, we're now at 5,000. As we get to 10,000, I mean, you don't even have to sell an ounce. You could sell a half ounce for 5,000, or a quarter ounce, get you 2,500. Even the tenth of an ounces are going for about 600 now. And then there's a 20th of an ounce, which is like 200 or something. So you can get gold 20th of an ounce. Um, my guy will just divide it. Say, oh, I've gold 10,000. It's 20,000. This is worth $1,000. And that's what he's gonna do. Will they keep doing 97%? I don't know. My guy keeps buying and keeps selling. He sells a lot of silver, doesn't have a lot of gold. He's kinda scared of it. He said, "Well, I gotta buy 10 ounces, and that's now gonna be $50,000 for 10 ounces, and I don't know if it's gonna sell because it's so high." And I tell him, "It'll sell, it'll sell, it'll sell. And if it doesn't sell, even better for you, you'll have it and watch it go to 10,000." And again, people are in the dark with that. That's really the problem with the people. They're in the dark. They don't know what to do with $100 silver. It's never been over 50, they say, because they don't know it's been price fixed by COMEX. It's paper price. That's why you see me mostly on my titles say paper price, not physical. But again, the government's trying to get you to not buy gold and silver for fear of the tax. But if you don't get 1099, what are you paying tax on if you don't get 1099? I'm sorry, I don't see that. I sell 2 ounces. I'm certainly not going to pay tax on it. That's just reality. Why would you? You win a football bet, right? We handicap football. You win 2,000 today on the Rams at 9 and the Rams over. Are you going to pay tax on it? No way. Not a chance. Why would you? I never did. So you're betting. You don't pay tax. See, betting's kind of underground. There's no receipt. There's no 1099. There's no W-2. So you don't do any of that. Now, if you are doing PayPal or one of these Venmos, just keep in mind they're watching that activity. So if everything comes in 100, 200, 300, that's fine. But when it starts coming in, all of a sudden you get a $2,000 or a $3,000, then that's going to be a difference. Hey, Prophet, are you getting this Arctic blast? Sure. It was snowing pretty good. I went out just before and was watching the snow come down. I'm going to try to get to the pool because A, I wanted to start my car in the cold and keep it working. I drove it yesterday to the pool. And B, I want to get to the pool, and I'll probably leave at 1 before the games so I can get back for the games. And once then, I'll be inside. But yeah, that's what I kind of want to do. But sure, I'll do that. And yeah, it's all over. It's from Texas. It was a line from Texas up to New York, but it wasn't really hitting Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, those northern cities, and it really wasn't hitting Michigan. It was hitting Ohio. It was coming across like Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, not all the way up to Michigan. So I don't know if we'll miss it or not. It wasn't that cold out. It was cold, but I went out in this. I didn't have my coat on, and I was cold, but not oh my god. But today's more of a snow day, so I do want to get there and get out, get my hot tub. Yesterday was hot. It's the worst. It's the worst health club. It's a city, a Livonia health club, and some days they're doing a flush in the hot tub, and the hot tub's like 70 degrees, and it's cold, and you're like, fuck, because you want to get into a hot tub, right? Yesterday was pretty hot. Hopefully today will be hot. It went down to 20 below last night. Yeah, I think we got 17, 20 below yesterday. It was very cold out. With the snow, it probably is a little warmer, but yeah, and then you got to count the wind chills, 20 below with wind chill or not. Plus, you guys are Canadian, so it's not a full Fahrenheit. It's not a full 20. It's 75%. But that's what we're looking at. So kind of ignore this 28%. We're not looking to sell it all. If you got 100 ounces of gold, you're not looking to sell 100 ounces. You're looking to sell 2 or 3 ounces here, 2 or 3 ounces there. There's no tax on it. There's no 1099 on it. The dealers will not 1099 you unless it's, I think, 32 ounces roughly of that. Eagles, there isn't even a 1099 on. That's why there's the premium for the Eagle, was people knew they wouldn't have to pay tax. But what they don't know is I was buying the Cougar and the Maple Leaf, cheap because there's not going to be tax on that because I'm only going to sell one or two of them. Yet it's still an ounce of gold. So it really won't matter what country, it's the ounce. And the same with silver. No watch silver this week. We should hit 150. Uh, what are we at? We're getting near the end of the month, the 25th. Uh, so look for, let's see. Yeah, the first is next Sunday. And then I get my good, my Social Security on the 9th. That's good. Yeah, so the 31st is Saturday. Super Bowl must be on the 8th, I guess. So I'll get my check on the 9th. So I would say by that Super Bowl, silver should be 200, gold probably close to 6,000. The way it's moving and the way it moved through the 4,000s, we're stuck at 4,200 a little bit. Then it started flying 43, 44, 45, a little bit tight at 45, then 46, 7, 8, 9, and just flowed through. 49.90 will be 5,000. It might take a cup of coffee here, but it'll be once it breaks 5,000, then 6,000 on its way to 10,000. Mark McGuire said 8,000, but and they're trying to predict it. Well, gold will hit 200 by the end of the year. Fuck, gold's going to hit 200 by the end of February. What are you kidding? There's no stopping it. There's no, because of the game of COMEX, you had the shorts. You don't have them anymore. They can't afford to cover, and they can't afford when they keep raising the margin. So therefore, there are less people buying the shorts. So everybody's buying long because we need silver for industrial and for what we're doing. And with gold, they need gold for all the BRICS needing gold to make their trading to trade with each other. That's just going to keep going. It has more. So the banks know the dollar's toast. We know the dollar's toast. It's most of the people don't. Once they recognize the dollar's toast, they got to get into gold. Now they're trying to scare them. What? They're trying to scare them to keep their money in dollars and go bankrupt. This is your government, right? What the fuck? No, stay in dollars. You can't pay a 28% tax. Well, that's not correct. If you have a low tax bracket, you're not paying it. So they assume it's just real rich people have gold and silver. Maybe, but I'm sure a lot of us who aren't real rich are buying gold and silver, and we're getting wealthier as we go. I couldn't believe the value of my gold and silver since the start of the year to now has gone up. So I'm keeping track of that. I advise you to have fun and keep a spreadsheet. Here's where it is on the 1st of January, and here's where it is today, and subtract it, and then times your ounces, and look at your value, and add up gold and add up silver, and you go, yeah, okay, this is like we could keep doing this. Why would you sell it? What is the point? There's no point to sell it. Just sit back and watch it go, watch it grow. Do we have risk? There's no risk in the portfolio. Gold and silver can't be printed, can't be inflated. So the only thing that can lower it is COMEX, which COMEX is fucked. So China and Russia want a higher gold and silver price. They need it for BRICS. So it ain't going anywhere down. And most people don't realize that. Ah, fuck. All right. I don't know. I got this internet issue. Let's see if I killed myself. Fuck. They're trying to reconnect me. Okay. Am I still here? I hope so. I think so. It was pretty quick. What happens when BRICS drops? Am I still here? Somebody just give me a clue. I'm still on. I think I am. I'll take a look at me. Usually when I get that quick one, I got lost for a few seconds, but Yeah, okay. So Prophet wants to know what happens when BRICS drops the dollar. They've already dropped the dollar. And all that happens is there's no demand for it, which raises inflation because more dollars come back to the US. That's why China and Russia and Japan and India and Saudi Arabia have dumped their dollars. So they bought the bonds because the US needed money because we spend more than we make every month. So they're constantly doing these selling of the bonds. And so China had a lot, Japan had a lot, and they're all selling them back to the US. They already are off the dollar. Now, can you use the dollar in China? I don't know. I think you can, or in Russia, but I know I can't send like Daria PayPal to Russia. I can send it to Ukraine, but I can't sell it. So I send it to her sister in America. She still has a Russian bank, so she's able to send Daria rubles from the bank because she has a dual. But no, they're not using them now. So what do you expect to happen? It's just less demand for the dollar. It's got even less value. The dollars that they had, they're selling back to us and they're buying gold with it. So a lot of dollars are getting flooded back in, which makes the value of the dollar worth less. So the dollar has very little value, as I'm saying, but BRICS is already just right now. China's buying oil from Saudi Arabia using a gold backed currency, as is India, as is Russia, as is all the other players, Brazil, South Africa. The African nations are coming out with a gold backed currency. They all know, they're all smart. They all listen to the channel, uh, except for the U.S. They think that we can intimidate you and we're the best. It's Trump with we're the best economy that's ever been. Is like he's so full of shit. Okay, Trump, explain that. What's so great about it? Our manufacturing that doesn't exist. What? Because we have AI, which is totally useless. We have what? What do we have? We don't have. We don't make anything. We have huge debt. We have 38 trillion in debt, 39 trillion probably. We got a defense budget we can't handle. We got interest on our $39 trillion debt we can't pay. We have our government's too big. We can't pay that. You can't pay all your government employees. You have to print more money, which makes it worth nothing. So our dollar is worthless. Would you want it? No. Do we want it? No. That's the point I keep trying to imply. The dollar's worthless. So we buy gold and silver because the dealers at the stores are still willing to take it because they don't know what's going on. So they take our dollars for gold and silver. We laugh all the way home and we sit there and go, great. But that's why we don't want to sell it and get back into dollars. That's the stupidest thing you can do. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's selling $100,000. So they're trying to paint the picture. Oh my God, if you sell, you pay 28% of tax. Who's selling? Nobody's selling. You're holding. Like I said, you sell an ounce or two. You don't pay tax on that. You sell an ounce or two to pay a bill or go on a vacation, or Johnny's got to go to college, or somebody's getting married, and you need 10 or 20 grand. Okay, you sell a few ounces if you don't have any money. And that's it. So the game is to get out of the dollar like the BRICS are getting out of the dollar. It's not worth anything, which we all know. So that's never an option. So we have to, like BRICS is doing, BRICS is backing their dollar by gold. And that's what we have to do. But we're too stupid and we have no money in Fort Knox to do it with. So therefore, since we have no gold, we need to come out with USD number two. That's the only option, USD number two. But it's got to be backed by gold and silver. We can't use Bitcoin or stablecoin or any of that shit. It won't work because it'll fail, right? If it's not backed by anything, it won't work. And who wants digital? Nobody wants digital. Nobody said, I don't have a digital account. Sorry, I don't want stablecoin. Well, we'll use that to pay off the debt. I mean, Trump's trying to pay the debt off. Well, the only way is gold and make it $100,000. And then now our gold's worth $100,000. Maybe we'll sell an ounce. Yeah, I'll be happy to pay 28% in tax, which it wouldn't be because I'm not in that tax bracket. It'd probably be 10 or 13%, which they don't tell you. But again, uh, I'm not getting 1099. I don't know what you're talking about. And that's why I got quarters, tens, quarters, and half ounces. I could easily sell some quarter ounces and not, you know, worry about the tax and have enough money with that. But that's really what it's at. You're trying to you want to stay in the game. Oh, I sold out my gold and silver. Oh, wait, it's 5,000 now. It's 20,000, and I sold it at five. I'm a fucking idiot, right? So you don't want to be a fucking idiot. So you're not looking to sell it. It is not something we're selling. We don't want to get back on the boat, right? That damn Titanic's sinking. The last thing we want to do is get out of the lifeboat back on the Titanic. Oh, but we got to pay tax. We got to pay tax on the lifeboat. That's okay. I'm happy to pay tax on the lifeboat if it gets to that. So, with that said, I got time. Um, Anything else we want to cover? So, basically, you do things in the market. So, I don't recommend buying junk silver because there's really no market for it. It's hard to sell. Ours is easy to sell. Our gold and silver, our 999, not a problem, right? Because they're not looking to refine it. It's the silverware, the jewelry, and the junk silver. There's no market for. So people are buying it thinking, "Oh, we'll do whatchamacallit, we'll do that." And it's just bullshit. It's not uh I don't want to own it. I'd rather own this than Kennedy half dollars and to try to sell it. Who am I selling it to? Where here I can sell to the dealer, he'll take it because he wants to sell it because that's his business is to bring an inventory to sell to the public. So he'd want this or the gold, but not that's it. Nobody, maybe on eBay, I don't know. But again, you don't even know. You got to prove it's 90% and how much is an ounce. It's a headache. I don't recommend it. It's for barter. I never bought that. Um, you can barter a 1 ounce silver. Like I said, I go to my barbecue restaurant, give them an ounce of silver. Now it's worth $100. Order a meal, that's $30. It'll give me back $70. It'll be happy to take it. So you need something that there's a market for, as I always say, supply and demand. Is there demand for the silver and gold? Yes, there is. It's fever pitch. And is there supply? No, there isn't. So if you increase the supply of the store, he'll be happy to take it. Problem is, you got to get the right idiot because some of these idiots don't realize the value of what's happening. And they don't realize silver's going to 1,000 and gold's going to 10,000 or 20,000. So they're a little scared. Oh, I might get caught. Why? Why would you get caught? There's nothing to catch you. There is huge supply, demand, and no supply. So how can you possibly lose? What are you, an idiot? And they are. They're just salesmen. They're not. They don't know anything about gold or silver. They're just, hey, yeah, I got into it. And people will buy gold and silver, and I can sell it. I was in there every week buying $2, $3, $4,000 worth of gold and silver. My money runs out, but really it just shifted from paper to this. So I really, this is the hardest part to explain to your family. I don't have any money. It's all in gold and silver, which I'm not selling now. And maybe you sell an ounce or you give them an ounce, I hear. But that's the problem. So I had to explain that to Alyssa. I don't have any money, but I have a lot of value because because it's all in gold and silver. It's not in money anymore. So I'm not in the bank. I'm not in stocks. I'm not in bonds. I'm not in real estate. I'm in gold and silver, which I can't use, which is fine. I'm not trying to use it. So I have enough that I can pay bills with, dollars, but everything is in gold and silver is in gold and silver, and that's fine. If I need to, I sell a half ounce of gold, or at this point, I can sell 10 ounces of silver and get $1,000. But again, I don't want to because it's going to 200, then 500. So why do I want to sell something at 100 that's going to five? Only if I really have to pay for something. Uh, let's see. Simon says, "Give me your gold." Okay. Yes. Okay. I'm not following profit, but that's okay. Uh, so anyway, that's what we're doing. We're buying it not to take profit. It's we're getting out of the dollar. So you leave a couple grand, and then the rest goes into gold and silver. And don't be scared to buy it at this price. This is not high. This is very low. Again, this is the real price of physical gold and silver. This is the COMEX price because COMEX keeps pushing it down, suppressing it, suppressing it. So the real value is here. We're here. So don't be afraid to buy it thinking it's too high. It's going to go down. It's going to, the price will drop. No, price is never dropping at these prices. It's just going. You can see it's going up. They tried pushing it down Christmas to 71. It went back to 90. They tried pushing it down on Tuesday or Wednesday down to 91, and now it's at 103. So it's not working. It can't work. There's too many people that need, especially silver and gold. They need gold. That's more because the dollar's worthless, and BRICS countries need the gold. So there's right now there's like 40 BRICS countries, and there'll be a lot more. And they're probably buying gold, and they want to trade in gold-backed currency. So you need gold. So the demand for gold's huge, as is silver, between the industrial and people like us. So when you have very strong demand and very little supply, price goes up. Pat told us that in Singapore, there's 6-hour lines at the store, and they don't even have enough gold or silver to sell. That's strong demand, and that's low supply. That's a perfect example. And they can't just print it. See, the beauty of it is, like I said the other day, if I want, oh, I like your blue shirt, I want it. By the way, this is my lucky shirt. That's why I wear it so often. So if I see this and the demand for Columbia sweatshirts goes up, I can just make more. When the demand for gold and silver goes up, they can't make more. It comes out of the ground and it's all dug up, and there is no more to get. And so that's it. It's all gone. But the demand's there, but the supply, you can't just go, oh, we'll go make more shirts, or we'll go, we'll just go print more of this, or we'll go print more of this. You can't. And that's the point people miss. You can't just print it. It's not able to increase supply. The supply is gone, but the demand isn't. All these companies needing it, they're probably buying not just for this year, but for next year. Well, shit, I'm still going to make iPhones, Apple. So I need silver for that. So I'm going to buy silver for this year and for next year. And if companies start thinking like that, automotive, electrical, stuff like that, they need it. They need it for a couple of years because they're not going to find supply. There's no silver mines sitting there going, oh, this is untapped. Let's go. In fact, you have China and India and Russia going to the mines and paying $150, $200 per ounce for the silver in the ground. So what you have in the ground's already being gold. They go right to the mine and get it. So where are you going to get supply when the mines are being bought out by China and Russia and India? So there's big problems as far as supply. The demand's not going down, and that's why I show you a lot of it is demand. The price keeps going. Now these guys at the stores can't think like us. So they have no clue what's going on. I kind of teach the guy at my store. So I said, don't be scared. It's good. It's just going to keep going up and up and up. And it has. And when I come in, he just bows to me like, yeah, I guess you know. And so I tell him, just buy as much as you can. I said, I would have leave it in the safe. I wouldn't have bought. When silver was 25, I go, you're putting it in the safe, or gold was 2,000. Just keep it in the safe. You don't want to sell. He says, I got to pay rent and bills. and employees. And I go, well, okay, but for a jewelry store, you don't sell much jewelry, I guess. Die Hard 3, yeah. And you know, it was a kind of a poorly planned ending by whatchamacallit. Every time you talk about gold, I think of Die Hard 3. Well, there you go. Yeah, Simon wasn't too smart. Even involving McClane, if he wanted to kill him, why didn't he just kill him? No, let's play games and then let him get killed by the bomb. Just shoot him. I mean, really, you're going to go all that, and then all of a sudden, everybody can enter Canada just like that, huh? Through New York. Well, we'll just use the aqueduct, which I always think of racing, the horse racing. So we'll go through that, and so they could just go there, and then let's stop at the border. Let's not continue driving a couple hundred miles, so nobody can pick up our trail. Uh, Makes no sense. And I was watching Goldfinger, and I thought that was the stupidest one. Well, we're going to blow it up, and it'll be radioactive, which will increase my supply. Well, it doesn't increase the demand for it. If I was him, I would have taken a few ounces out with it, a few bars. Let's pack up a couple thousand bars, take them with. I thought that whole, well, we'll blow it up, I thought was stupid. I didn't like that movie. Bond did nothing in the movie. He just sat there in the cell, and the whole thing was kind of stupid. Anyway, Die Hard 3. I like the premise of the movie, stealing the gold from the Federal Reserve. That was adorable. The dump trucks, you know, you thought they'd have been more quiet about that. But, clever movie. But then when he was in Margin Call, I don't know if they knew about it. He kind of leads on like he knew about it, that the housing crisis would happen, and they'd all go, "Oh, we'll just fuck everybody, and we'll dilute it, and we'll get rid of it all, and everybody will lose, but we'll survive." But it's really a stupid strategy, if you ask me. Uh, Knowing that the housing and you do that too, because Clinton signed the thing in '97, because it's a good socialist thing that everybody should own a house if they could afford it or not. Really. So with that, you kind of were kind of confused by that. And, he said, well, we got to sell it all. I don't hear the music. Dude, you didn't hear the music in 2005. What are you talking about hearing it now? And then Madoff, I'm shocked Madoff didn't end his Ponzi scheme in like 2006, when knowing the housing market's going to crash. Now, he's a finance guy on Wall Street. He should have known that was happening, right? So how stupid are these finance guys at Wall Street? You had to know the housing crisis was happening, and you just sat there and did nothing. So he should have just ended the Ponzi scheme, got started, it's all over, and just went to France and lived there and fucked everybody, which he did anyway. So I don't know. I thought that was who would want, it's so stupid. Yeah, I'm going to keep track of 20,000 people who have money with me and write them statements every day, and you're making money. It's like, really? You want to go to all that trouble? Why don't you just close it, keep the money, and off you go? Now, I know you had Russian mafia involved and the SEC involved, and of course, JP Morgan was their banker. Pay them off and then get the fuck out of it. But people that bitch about that, it's got only themselves to blame. It was obvious it was a Ponzi scheme. If everybody's paying 6%, 7%, and you're getting 15 from Madoff, and he picks every stock correctly, and are you really seriously this stupid that somebody could pick every stock correct? As if you're like me, picking 100% football. I never pick a loser. As good as I am, and I went 7-0 last week, I cannot possibly pick every game right. It can't happen. So if somebody says he picks every stock right and you're stupid enough to invest with him and then you lost, look in the mirror because you can't blame him. He told you, hey, I pick them all right. Yeah, he is kind of smart. He is Madoff. I mean, it's just so stupid. Anyway, so enjoy the games and basically again we're taking the Rams 27-24. We're going over is the free play. We like the Rams at 9. I went over Denver at 41 to go over 35 at 43, and in the cold I might come back with an under. And then we have I don't know what to do with the game. It's really New England -4, which I'm kind of leaning towards Denver +10. I would not take New England +2 to win. I don't buy that. Uh, you don't go into the championship game on the road as favorite unless you're called the Pittsburgh Steelers with Franco Harris or Joe Montana. You're not going to go on the road and win convincingly, right? At best, they win the game by a field goal. At best. So that's my point there. So I think it'll be the Rams and Denver in the Super Bowl, but we'll see. Look for $6,000 gold in the next month, and look for $200 silver in the next week. It's flying $3, $4, $5 a day. There's no pullback. Well, yeah, I think it'll pull back. Why? Tell me why you think it. Who's selling it? Nobody's selling it. They're afraid of margin calls and all the demand. Everybody wants to buy it, and all the banks are long, and Russia, China are long. There's not going to be pullbacks. No, not in silver. Probably not in gold. Maybe a little one, but nothing. Down $30 in gold. But look for gold once it breaks 5,000 to quickly get to 6. And it's going to 10, and nothing can really stop it. Too much demand and no supply. The same thing with silver. Once we hit 2, it's on its way to 5. It's on its way to 1,000, and there's nothing to stop it. There is no supply, and the demand is not going anywhere. It's going to still stay huge. People stupid enough to worry about 28% tax will get what they deserve. You're not buying this to sell it, so I wouldn't worry about what the 28% tax is. Who gives a fuck? We're not looking to sell it. And by the way, our counts are going higher and higher and higher, so I'm worth a lot more than I was at the beginning of the year. So that's where we're at. All right, enjoy the games. I'm going to the pool. Hopefully, I can do my car. Behold, Maximus Tesserus. Hello, Caesar. So that's about it. So again, LA 27-24. So you go over, you take the Rams, and probably a 23-20 Denver New England game, which either team could win. I think it's going to get. I'm over 35. I think it gets over. I think you could go under. It is 6 degrees there, so it's cold. I don't anticipate a high scoring game, but it's 6 fucking degrees out. But you could get into the upper 30s, I think. So it's at 43. I don't get why the total's going up. That makes no sense. It's not like the weather got better; it got worse. And with that, I will leave you. I will talk to you tomorrow. If you need me, www.teaserking.com. Get my email. You can email me. But that's what I got today, and our 103.30 on our silver. Watch it go to 110 on Monday, and watch gold break 5,000, and finally, on its way to 6. And I'll tell you, it took a while to go through the 2000s because it was new, and it took a little bit longer to go through the 3s, but it ran through the 4s. I don't even think it took 3 months. It went boom, 4,200, 43, 45. From 45 to 5,000 was like 5 days. It was like 46, 47, 48. And I don't see that slowing down. There's no reason for it to slow down. It's all based on demand, and demand's not going anywhere. It's still going through the roof. So as far as that goes, you have huge demand. And most of the supply is already like in our hands, so there's no new supply coming. So look for that to go. So enjoy your games today. Play with your gold and silver, and off you go. So have a great day then. I will talk to you tomorrow. www.teaserking.com. Hopefully we don't get hit with too much snow. And yes, it's cold as fuck out, but I will go to the club to drive my car and get out. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Be safe today. Keep the heat up. All right. Take care.